The definition of an ace is hard to pin down. Is it the pitcher that only throws fire? No. Is it the pitcher that stares with a look of pure intimidation? Absolutely not. You see, an ace is the man who takes the baseball every 5 days and wins, with good stuff and bad. Finally, an ace has a place for the hardware in his case. You know what to say. Just another day in paradise. Of course, the exclusive home of the Arizona Diamondbacks right here on FSN Arizona. Another gorgeous day in the valley and inside of Chase Field. The Diamondbacks looking in a comfortable spot again against the Colorado Rockies, looking to sweep the Rocks right out of town. The Diamondbacks with the best record in Major League Baseball. So what does it mean within their division? Well, the Dodgers rallied against the Milwaukee Brewers today. They are already victorious. So if you want to hold serve and keep that lead at 4.5 games, a win over the Rockies is a must tonight. The best team in baseball, no doubt. It's been a joy to cover them. He's Mark Grace. I am Darren Sutton, but it's early. And early in the season, you lead on good pitching. And boy, both guys, you're talking about Clint Hurdle and Bob Melvin, send some spectacular pitchers to the mound tonight. I think this is actually round 3, Gracie. When you talk about Santana Herron when the Mets came to town. Yeah. Earlier this year, you talked about Brandon Webb going head-to-head with Jake Peavy. That was number 1. This is the 3rd great pitching matchup of the year. Webb against Aaron Cook. And
I don't think you can really say one's better than the other. I think they're all 3 fabulous. This one, Aaron Cook has sneakily gone 6-1 for a team that has really struggled this year. Aaron Cook and Brandon Webb are the 2 biggest ground ball pitchers in the National League. So as we like to say up here, Darren and I, infielders beware tonight. Brandon Webb and Aaron Cook, the best sinkers in the game. Now, they've added a couple extra pitches, though, haven't they, Darren?
Well, the changeup for Webb, you see it here. Certainly, it's a key pitch for him. When I talk about Cook, what's his secondary pitch?
His secondary pitch is his slider. He doesn't throw very many, Darren, but he throws occasionally a slider. If he gives up a base hit or 2 on his sinker ball, he does have a weapon with that slider, so you may see him break that out.
Well, you faced them both, one in an inter-squad game when he was in the minor leagues in Brandon Webb, one in the big leagues in Aaron Cook. Right. We look forward to talking about them both tonight. And then this weekend, we look forward to talking about the Detroit Tigers coming to town. They may be scuffling, but interleague play is right around the corner. What do you think about it? It's front and center. A great time in the big leagues this weekend. Todd talks about it right after this.
You're watching FSN Arizona.
FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball, brought to you by Arizona Ford. Visit your Arizona Ford dealers or go to drivefordnow.com. By APS, the official power partner of the Diamondbacks, and by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
You're on the field here at Chase Field, just moments away from first pitch, game 3 of this 3-game series. Colorado and Arizona, Brandon Webb and Aaron Cook. I'm Todd Walsh here in our pre- and post-game location in the Diamond Club here in right center field. And I know for some, for the baseball purists, it's still a lightning rod of controversy, but for others, well, you know what? It's just plain fun. Interleague play is here. In fact, it starts tomorrow, and we just wanted to take a moment to remind you of the Arizona Diamondbacks interleague schedule. The Detroit Tigers, who have had a bizarre start to the season, they have struggled mightily. They roll into town after being handled by the Kansas City Royals. You see the Royals come in from June 13th to the 15th. We'll see the Oakland Athletics from the 17th to the 19th. And look at those road dates. On the road at Minnesota, June 20th through the 22nd. Then it's on to Fenway Park. Fabled Fenway Park in Boston for a 3-game series with the defending World Series champs, the Boston Red Sox. And you'll see it all here, of course, on the exclusive home of Diamondbacks baseball, FSN Arizona. But first things first, we got to deal with tonight. And the Rockies got to deal with this guy. Can he go 9 for 9? Brandon Webb, 8-0, looking for more tonight.
Glad to have you back on a gorgeous evening again at Chase Field. What's new? And glad to have you watching in high definition. Brandon Webb has completed his warm-up tosses, looking to improve to 9-0. Clint Hurdle talking about his club, saying we just need to stop trying to swing for the fences. Just get him on, get him over, and get him in. Too much of the big swings. That won't help tonight against Brandon Webb, I'll tell you that. Spilborghs, Barmas, Holiday, Helton, Haup, Ionetta, Baker, Herrera, and Cook. 1 through 9. Centex pitching report. Brandon Tyler Webb is 29 years old, and Mark Grayson, 8 starts. He is 8-0.
That's not bad. Is there any room to improve? Well, no, there really isn't. You run out of great things to say about Mr. Brandon Webb, but he is in for a tussle tonight because he goes against someone nearly equal in Aaron Cook. Should be a low-scoring, great baseball game tonight.
And we're glad you're with us. We are underway at Chase Field as the first pitch fastball sails inside, misses to Ryan Spilborghs. Spilborghs doing a great job. Willie Taveras again giving the night off. There we go, right down the middle. 1-1 the count.
Tim Sheeta, the home plate umpire, will give you a little leg kick every time he calls a strike.
I would imagine even the home plate umpire is excited for tonight's ball game.
You would think.
In on the hands, ranging to his left. And making the play is Mark Reynolds. Let's take a look at the defense for the Diamondbacks. It's brought to you by Rico. Salazar is in left field tonight. Eric Burns has the night off. Young and Upton. Then it's Reynolds, Drew Hudson, and Chris Burke. Gives Connor Jackson the night off. And Chris Snyder behind home plate. Not a bad move there. Salazar seems to really enjoy hitting against a team that cut him loose late in last year's spring training, the Rockies. Never a bad idea. Boy, look at the movement on that pitch. 0-1.
Right to the inside corner, right on the belly button of Clint Barmas.
Gracie talked about it in the open, folks. It's a sinker most of the time. It's a very good changeup. That's a sinker. Gets past Reynolds and into left field. So Drew hustles after that ball.
No, don't know if that's going to be a hit or an error. It was hit hard, but it's certainly a play that Mark Reynolds makes more often than not.
They ruled that an error.
And this Exmo will show it right underneath the glove. Nope, just off the edge of the glove. It was hit hard, but as we said, that's a play Mark Reynolds usually makes.
So now Matt Holliday against Brandon Webb. That pitch is away. Holliday in this series 4 for 10. The Diamondbacks trying to sweep the Colorado Rockies. It has been a very good year for this club against Colorado. 7-1 this season. Look at the movement again on that pitch. 1-1 the count to Holliday.
And that's the sinker. Down and in. Gosh, that had some late movement right on his back foot.
Well, it's hard to lose when you're doing that, quite honestly. I mean, if 8 of your last 10 starts you've given up 2 runs or less, you got a good chance of winning.
Yeah, that's it's tough to beat, that's for sure. And also, Darren, what it creates is, as an offensive player, when you're playing behind a guy like Brandon Webb, or when I played here, Schilling, Johnson, you know that you don't have to score a bunch. Foul. You know, if you're thinking coming to the ballpark, and when you're facing a guy like Aaron Cook, who's also a tremendous pitcher, let's just get a couple. If we get a couple, our guy will take care of the business. That's the mindset you have, and that creates winning, knowing that, man, we don't have to go out and score 7 runs to win the ball game tonight. It's really a feeling that if we just do fundamentally sound things, if we get a guy on, get him over, hit a sac fly, play good fundamental baseball, we'll win.
So it relieves the burdens, the pressing that might
exactly
occur.
Right.
Bouncing ball, Reynolds with another chance. There's one on to first, a double play. For the 7th time this year, Brandon Webb rolls up a twin killer. Some smiles in that dugout. Pitcher section has moved closer to the manager's seat and keeping him loose. Let's talk about the manager's offense, though. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Chris Snyder, you can see what he is doing against Aaron Cook. And Orlando Hudson is 4 for 8 in this series with 4 RBIs. It's been a nice series for Orlando Hudson.
Welcome back, Orlando Hudson. Second base has certainly been a strength for the Arizona Diamondbacks. When he went down, Augie Ojeda took over and went crazy as well.
See the numbers on Aaron Cook. You see the season for Aaron Cook, and You see the stuff. I mean, right out of the gates, that backs it all up. As Gracie said, he's won 6 games. He's got a great sinker.
On a team that has well, nobody has a worse record than this Colorado Rocky team.
Right back through the box, and a base hit for Chris Young. Defensively, on the infield, most importantly for the Rockies, working behind this ground ball pitcher, is Baker, it's Barmes, it's Herrera, and it's the Gold Glover Todd Helton. Ryan Spilborg anchors things in center field.
And Darren, I say this all the time. Clint Hurdle was a victim of it in the top of the first inning. If you don't try to steal bases, if you don't put runners in motion, you're just asking to hit into double plays all night with both these pitchers. I hope we see some aggressive base running from the D-backs.
You thought about moving him around with a bunt. 0-1 the count.
You just got to try to take some chances.
Well, we've documented, and we've talked about it quite a bit. Bob Melvin's willing to talk about it. Feels like his club isn't running the bases like they should be yet with regard to stealing bases.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think they're slugging a lot, and they haven't had to. But we saw in that 3-7 clip over 10 games against New York, Philly, and Chicago, they could have used a little bit more of that. Over the outside corner, 0-2.
Stephen Drew thought that ball was a good 6 inches outside, and he might be right.
Why do you think it is?
Well, I just think right now, I think they just haven't gotten into their groove. They haven't developed that gutsiness yet because they haven't needed to, as you said.
Fights it off, dumps it in. Base hit. Chris takes a look and stays at second base again on an 0-2 pitch. It's a nice piece of hitting.
Well, that's pretty. Stephen Drew's really starting to heat up. That's the breaking ball. Just kind of swats it into left center field. You could probably not the pitch in the location that Cook wanted it. 0-2, you can bounce that thing. But well, I'm getting back to the base running, Darren. And it was reckless abandon last year. Nobody cared. If you throw me out, you throw me out. I just don't think they've needed that that type of mindset yet. You know, who cares? Let's just do it. Because as you said, they've swung the bats much better. But like I said, it's still one pitch away from hitting into a double play here as well.
And you have great speed. I mean, with Young and Drew, very athletic baseball players, very good speed. You have your center fielder and your shortstop.
That's why even though Orlando Hudson is a terrific player, I'm not opposed to a bunt right here.
Rocky's certainly thinking about it a bit. If you look at Baker, he's not all the way in. They're pinching in the middle of the infield. Shoots it, base hit left field. Chappelle says, come on down. Holiday won't even fire it. It's going to third base. The Diamondbacks lead it 1-0.
And Orlando Hudson says, Grace, you are so dumb. What are you thinking? Me bunt the way I'm swinging the bat? And I would say, you know what, Orlando? You're probably right. I am a dummy thinking that you should possibly be bunting there. That's gorgeous. That's what you do with a sinker ball. Swat it the other way just like Stephen Drew did. Or go back up the middle with it like Chris Young did. And boy, here we go again.
Hit it uptown. Hit it Upton. Justin Upton with an old-fashioned look as he digs into the batter's box. Folks, the pants rolled up and the almost looks like a member of the 1970s Cincinnati Reds, if you will, with that darker Sedona red.
The real stirrups, though, D.
Yep. The guys got together. It was led by Mark Reynolds. Justin Upton right along with him.
I love that.
And they decided they were going to go with this look for a while.
For a while, not just a one-day thing.
They didn't get many takers to join them.
Now, there has to be a reason.
Well, in part, I think Mark wants to get something going offensively. He's scuffling a bit. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Justin Upton's hitting .326. He really doesn't need hitting boots, does he?
No.
He just thinks it looks cool.
He does. He loves the look.
I love it.
Looks great with those black spikes. I mean, it is a throwback look, no doubt about it.
My problem, I just didn't have enough calf to fill him up.
Well, it's funny you would say that. As he lays off the slider, 1-2 the count. Well, especially when he's playing in his own living room. He doesn't have to wear the hitting boots. Look at these numbers at home.
Goodness gracious.
And then there's Lance Berkman, who's reinventing baseball this year.
He is. Pete Rose and Hank Aaron all in one.
Nintendo numbers, if you will.
Yeah, you can see Chris Iannetta, the catcher for the Rockies, kind of giving Aaron Cook a reminder, get the ball down. Come on, get on top of your sinker. You're leaving too many pitches belt high, and you leave too many belt high to these guys. They've already shown. That leads to a lot of line drives. Going to try to go in now.
Oh, my.
Well, that'll ruin your whole day right there. What a pitch that was. He went in all right. I think Upton's just happy he got out of the way of it, but he swung. I think that might have got a piece of his sleeve, yet it's a swing.
Wow.
Yeah, it got a piece of his sleeve. So had he not swung at it, it would go by as a hit by pitch. But folks at home wondering what the rule is on that. If it hits you but you swing, it counts as a swing, and that's a strikeout. And a big, big out for Aaron Cook.
Well, there's that great movement. It's such an interesting line that pitchers like Webb and Cook walk with regard to arm angle. And sometimes they will fall into trying to make their pitches sink, and in doing so lower their arm angle and try to make it sink. They don't have to at all, and that's exactly what Iannetta was talking. We've seen Webby do it too. Good pitch in succession to follow it up, although we haven't seen Brandon do that much this year. You can see that 96 pitch outing. He's 5-3 with an ERA over 5 in his career against the Diamondbacks. D-backs hit .297 against him. That's a good 0-2 pitch.
That's a good 0-2 pitch, and Iannetta sat about 6 inches outside. He hit the glove. Let's see if Tim Sheeta is going to be generous out there. And Tim Sheeta is a pitcher's umpire. He'll get wide with a pitcher, but that was just a little too much to ask.
Snyder hitting over 400 in the last week and a half worth of games. In on his hands at third, to the bag. Baker fires, and a double play. Boy, it started with a lot of fire, but then suddenly, poof.
Todd Walsh back here at Chase Field. We talked about it on Miller Lite Diamondbacks Live, and we talked about Brandon Webb and his off-the-field activities, as Micah Owings confirmed today. You know what? He's just a big kid.
Davis helps. There's a lot of guys that help keep it loose in there. We have a good time on and off the field. A lot of fun in the clubhouse, too.
Brandon Metters said it's almost like a switch. He can play and have fun, but when he gets out there, that's his place. Whole different world.
You're right. I've seen him a couple times, in the corner over there, him and Meds playing guitar and line, and then game day. And I'm saying even last year when he was in the middle of that streak, and that's just Webby. He just has fun. But when it's time to get it done, he gets out here and gets the job done. That's why he's our ace.
It's our Geico direct quote of the game. You see that line out from Todd Helton to Stephen Drew, big first out of the inning, as Brandon Webb likes to get. And guys, Brandon's got like toy airplanes and helicopters they've been playing with here at the ballpark. We've seen him out in the field from time to time with a football or an Aero Bee. He's got guitars. They're jamming here thanks to their friends at Fender, who have really set him up here at the park. But the bottom line is, crosses that white line, he's the ace, right, Darren?
Well, he is, and Grace, you play with a lot of guys like that. I mean, the toys have gotten more advanced, if you will, for ball players. But I would imagine there's a lot of guys that have played this game that have been a lot of little kid, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that until it's time to play ball.
I mean, and you're right, model airplanes and guitars and all. Honestly, Darren, I think you grew up in major league clubhouses. If you didn't play cards, you didn't do anything.
No.
It was just card games, at least 4 separate, like if there was a rain delay, which we never have out here. But if there was a rain delay, it was 4 or 5 different card games, and trust me, it was loud. You owe me $10. Yeah. Oh, what? No, I don't. I mean, he'd have to break people up.
There's that changeup, Gracie. You talked about it in the open. Funny thing to me is, it's not funny to the hitters, it has the same look, movement as the sinker.
It's just about 10 miles an hour slower. This is a guy who over the years has just been a thorn in Brandon Webb's side, and that's Brad Hopp. But Brandon Webb has developed that changeup, and you know, he developed it about a year and a half ago, Darren, and it's turned into one of the best changeups in the game. I mean, it's getting out of hand just how Brandon Webb, how much he's improved over even last year or the year before when he won a Cy Young.
And that's really where you want to throw it. As that pitch pretty good, but it's called a ball. 1-1 the count. You have to allow, I would imagine, even though he's a veteran umpire, Tim Cheetah to get comfortable and see all the movement he's dealing with tonight. 2-1 the count. The only thing to me, Gracie, tougher than umpiring a Cook-Webb game with the sinkers is someone who throws a true curveball. I mean a 12-6. That's a tough pitch to call as well.
Very tough. There's the changeup. Like, for instance, a guy that had trouble getting a former Diamondback, but his best years were with the Giants, Sean Estes. That's a tough curveball to get called for a strike. Darryl Kyle, the late great Darryl Kyle.
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Got him with a changeup.
He's already been throwing that pitch for a year and a half.
Squeeze it tight in your hand, throw it as hard as you can, and deceive the hitter. Mark Grace, put us in the batter's box against a pitch like this.
Look at the grip, the A-OK sign, and then just throw it like it's a fastball. And that automatically takes about 10 to 12 miles an hour off of it with the same look as the fastball.
Hot shot, but right to the second baseman, Mark Reynolds. As we could see, wearing those high socks like Justin Upton. That old-fashioned stirrup look. Not the pants high with the all Red Sox, but the stirrups.
Well, he hits a bullet, and unfortunately, it's right at Herrera, the second baseman, who was clogging the middle there. That's what advanced scouts do. Tell these guys the tendencies, and that's where you position them.
So 1-0, the Diamondbacks lead it. Our Brown and Brown Chevrolet key to the game. Well, why don't you explain that, Mark Grace?
Well, it's misspelled on there, and we wouldn't expect anything less from Gregson Frampton. But on guard is, you know, the old duel, you know, in the sword fight. You know, this is a duel, a pitcher's duel. Two of the best pitchers in the National League, if not the best two pitchers statistically in the National League, going at it today. So on guard.
I like it.
You should like it, because this is not guesswork up here, Darren.
Isn't it? Is it E-N?
E-N.
I think it is
the
G-U-A-R-D.
Might be an E at the end.
Okay.
Wouldn't be hard to find out.
In on the knuckles, and he pops it foul.
Maybe there's some viewers and listeners out there that speak Francais, and they could let us know.
Please, and drop a note to Todd Walsh
on his email.
Send it on in there and let us know about on guard. Prepare thyself.
I challenge you to a duel. Take off your glove. Slap.
You did that to me the other day. I didn't really like that. Breaking ball, and Mr. Salazar didn't really like that.
I would never slap you, Darren. I've wanted to slap you many times, but I've never done it.
Honest. I tell you what, the Diamondbacks will look back and feel like they could have and should have done a lot more in that first inning with a guy like Cook.
Well, he couldn't have gotten off to much better start. Bang, bang, bang for a run, and then he bared down, made it look easy, and now he looks to be on a roll of his own. Pitching boots.
He's got the pitching boots on. Chris Burke not quite in line with the younger Diamondbacks, has all the socks showing as well. As he gives that one around, into the corner it goes, and that one is down, up and over the wall for a ground rule double. And if anybody needed that, it's the man wearing number 2 on his back. His first extra base hit of the year.
Well, he's playing first base tonight, and a lot of people are probably wondering what the heck is the matter with Connor Jackson. As he takes that sinker and just drills it out here. Connor Jackson has had no success at all off of Aaron Cook. 0 for 12 coming in, and this gives an opportunity, not because Connor Jackson has been terrific this year. Give him a mental day off as well. Let Chris Burke go out there against a guy that you've struggled with, and sure enough, the mad scientist comes through again.
You're right. I will tell you, you are right. He had planned on doing this yesterday. He was speaking of giving Chris Burke the start and Connor Jackson the day off because of the numbers, give his legs a rest as well. And the other reason he said it, as you said, I have got to get Chris Burke going. I have got to get him going. Because it starts getting to a point for Chris Burke where if Mr. Melvin and Burke together can't get him going, then you start questioning, what, can you keep him?
Exactly right.
And you hate to even think like that because of the attitude and the way he works.
Yeah, he's a great kid, and he's great in the clubhouse as well. He's kind of the leader of the B squad, they call themselves. The non-everyday players. Gas.
Fortunate there to sit down Brandon Webb.
On guard.
Oh, fun at the old yard. Each game, watch for the Camaro to win either tickets to an upcoming game or an autographed item. Then go to vanchevrolet.com, enter the word, which is number. Each entry is a chance to win that day's prize, but also a chance to win an 09 Camaro. Stay tuned for the Diamondbacks live postgame show. We will announce tonight's winner. Oh, look at that.
That's a golf term, isn't it? You the man?
You are the man. You played out there at the big. Oh, look at that.
You're on TV, honey, and you deserve. Here's your son. Well, that's that Bill Engvall.
I'm impressed you know his name.
Bill Engvall.
Really in the know with regard to entertainment.
Well, here's your sign. That usually means, I think, to use Bill's word, stupid.
Right. 0-1 the count to Jeff Baker.
Hey, Gracie, here's your sign, stupid.
No, they would never say that about you. Pounds the strike zone. No balls and 2 strikes to Jeff Baker.
Well, both Cook and Webb have just been strike machines here early.
29-year-old right-hander wheels and deals. Changeup, funky swing, and he chops it. Foul, third base side. Baker giving Atkins a day off this evening. Clint Hurdle just trying to figure something out. Just trying to juggle and see what he can get going, anything going offensively.
Well, his team is just too talented to have the record they have. Went on a run like no other last year to get to the World Series. Now they sit with the worst record. Oh, there was a flinch there by Tim Sheeta. He flinched for just a second, then said, nope, that's a little too far outside, and I think he got that call right.
Yeah, you bet he went around on a changeup there, and just to be sure, a fire to first base. Jeff Baker is the 3rd consecutive strikeout for Brandon Webb. He has 3 overall.
Second baseman number 21, Jonathan Herrera.
Here's Jonathan Herrera. To be specific, and I quote, Clint Hurdle said, when we're going up to the plate right now, we're bringing way more with us than our bats.
The weight of the world.
He said we just need to simplify it again. No matter what happens, it's still May, and we just need to start getting a single base runner on at a time.
That's exactly right. And when you're struggling as a team, every guy's going up there trying to hit a 5-run home run with nobody on base.
Right back to the mound. Brandon Webb continuing along with Mr. Cook to make it look easy. 2 outs. Hurdle said no doubt they recognize their struggles. Now it's going out there and playing the game better.
Pitcher number 28.
And you can just watch this ball dip Down and away, right off the end of the bat. Easy play for Brandon Webb. And like I said, Darren, it's every team's going to go through this where you hope it's not for 6 weeks like the Rockies have, but you're going to go through where you don't score runs and you're struggling. And pretty soon you start thinking, I'm going to be the guy that gets us out of this. Watch, I'm going to be that guy. Jump on my shoulders, guys, because I'm going to carry us to the promised land. Well, that's all noble, and it's great to say, but the bottom line is you need to take care of yourself and let your teammates take care of themselves. And next thing you know, you might start get a little bit of momentum going. Then you can bust. The Rockies are just waiting to bust.
Outside corner, strike 3. Well, he just made that look easy with a capital E.
Todd Walsh back here at Chase Field. Darren, take it when you need it, but we're here with our winner from Bob's Got the Beat on Miller Lite Diamondbacks Live, our pregame show, but you may know him if you're an NFL fan. He played for so many years with the New York Giants, Super Bowl champion. George Martin joins us, and George is wearing, that's a new hat you got on the show from winning the show, didn't you?
Absolutely. I'm showing my allegiance to the Diamondbacks.
But George, the real story is why you're here and what brought you to Phoenix. It's called A Journey for 911. Can you explain again for the fans at home what in the world you're doing, walking over 3,000 miles?
Absolutely. To bring awareness and to raise money for the first responders and the rescue and recovery workers. And so far, we've raised gross money, $2.7 million. Every dollar that we raise is going to be matched by the 3 hospitals. That's over $5 million that we're going to provide for them.
And how can fans donate if they'd like to, George?
They can go to our website, www.ajourneyfor911.info, INFO.
2 million already?
Absolutely.
And how many more miles do you have to walk, George?
We got less than 400. We're about 350 miles, and that'll take us into San Diego. We'll call it a day.
What's the reaction when people realize what you're doing and why you're doing it?
Most of them are awestruck. They can't imagine that a guy who's 55 years old would walk all the way from New York and now in Phoenix and then all of San Diego. So I'm very proud to be an ambassador for this.
And we're proud for you, George. Thanks again, and thanks for coming on the show.
Todd, my pleasure. Thank you.
George Martin, man, one of the toughest guys that ever played the game in the National Football League, changed the complexion of the game in that front 4 and the down lineman. Mark, I know you appreciate those guys.
Guys in the trenches. And,
yep.
And you tell Big George, I'd like him to be my friend.
Mark Grace just needs you to hang out and kind of help him, okay, if that's all right.
Stephen Drew, and whoa is right. That one is driven off the glove of Spielberg's. Drew always runs hard. Here he goes into third, sliding safe. Cook backing up at third. We were in Chicago. We made note of a certain third baseman who doesn't run hard when he puts it in the air. This is why you run hard.
Well, first of all, he scalds this ball. Spielberg's a long run. Gets there and reaches up, and it just goes off the palm of his hand, and that's all Stephen Drew needed to see. A triple, as you said. This is a situation right here, Darren Sutton, where if I'm Clint Hurdle, I am absolutely not messing with this guy at the plate. I'm not messing with him. I'm gonna mess with the 20-year-old on deck. This guy's shown me way too much this series. That being Orlando Hudson.
And let's see. I mean, that pitch misses in.
Not that Justin Upton's not a tremendous, but you open up a double play possibility, and you struck him out your first time up, and you made him look bad.
1-0 the count. Infield all the way in, by the way.
Oh, good pitch there, right in on O's hands for a strike.
I mean, what does this say, by the way, about Brandon Webb when you see the infield in right now?
Yeah, with a 1-run deficit, we can't afford to give him any more runs. We've got to play the infield in.
It's unbelievable to me.
It really is.
I mean, I understand it.
And right there, I'm coming inside. And if I miss, I'm missing inside. I am not going to miss out over the plate for Orlando Hudson. That's his nitro zone as a left-handed hitter. He loves the ball down and away. And really, for the most part, that's where Aaron Cook likes to pitch, left-handers. But not this left-hander. He's going to stay in on him.
Well, you can see the reaction by Iannetta there, encouraging Cook that this is clearly, as you said, a pitch around. If he chases, so be it.
Then he chases, exactly. But if we walk him, well, there's worse things than that. But I'm just not going to let Orlando Hudson beat me. He's swinging the bat way too well. Stayed in on his hands. And got that second strike. And I would imagine he's just going to stay right in there again. And if I walk you, I walk you.
Orlando is 5 for 9 in this series with 5 RBIs. Those are the numbers that back up what he's talking
that's my
about.
Point. Now he might get away with it, and I have been wrong, I think, one other time in my life. Got him. Missed his spot and got him. So I will stand corrected. He got away with it.
No, he stayed on strategy, Gracie. He followed exactly what he wanted to do. He just missed his spot that final pitch. You could see Iannetta was set up inside again.
What would you think about a bunt down the third base line right here? It is wide open.
I think it'd be a thing of beauty. Justin bunted for a base hit. You remember that on this series.
You can see Jeff Baker, the third baseman, way back. Justin, it wouldn't even have to be a good bunt to drive in that run.
2 outs. Ground ball, Baker diving play. Upton can run. Got it.
What a play.
Out of that right-handed batter's box, he can absolutely fly. We'll take a look at it when we come back. Top of the 4th inning. I tell you, an amazingly close play for Justin Upton. Incredibly close. As we take a look at our Aflac trivia question. Since 2000, ranked the National League West teams by how many days spent alone in first place. So the teams that have enjoyed, well, the penthouse, if you will, since the year 2000 in first place.
Let's go back to the inning ending. Great play by Jeff Baker. Be the judge, folks. It's that close. If he, it's one of those, Darren, that if he calls him out, he's right. If he calls him safe, he's right. But it's that close. Jimmy Joyce over there, one of the best in the business.
And the young man in right's disappointed. And if it went the other way, the pitcher and the manager for the Rockies would be disappointed. It's a good call, though.
It was that close.
1-1 the count to Spilborghs. Swings right over the top of a sinker. 1-2.
And going back to the play, I'm a believer. If it's that close, I think you got to give a little bit of a nod to the effort made by the defensive player at third base.
Interesting. Had him reaching on a changeup. I mean, they've been reaching, diving, swinging uncomfortably so far all evening. He's faced the minimum. One base runner reached on an error off the bat of Reynolds.
Well, strike 1 was a curveball. Strike 2 was a fastball, and strike 3 was the changeup. Look, Chris Snyder's going to block it down and away, and you're still getting swings.
That curveball, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first he's thrown in the game.
It was the first. Bob Melvin was talking about it before the game, that the changeup's kind of been the go-to strikeout pitch for Brandon Webb, and he wanted to make sure everybody knew, hey, don't forget about this guy's curveball. He just doesn't throw as many now because the changeup, as you just saw, is just so devastating.
Incredibly economical, as you can see. I mean, still has managed 4 strikeouts amongst those numbers. He's ahead 0-2. Clint Barmas lines it into center field. The first hit of the game off Brandon Webb comes with 1 out in the 4th inning. Looking for his 9th win of the year, Brandon Webb. He's 8-0 in his first 8 starts. Firestone leaderboard will walk you through where he ranks in the National League, and no surprise there. He is facing the man who is second. You saw that one little bag that flies around down there. Something we're so spoiled here at our gorgeous ballpark. There was 70 of those at Wrigley.
Yes, he did. Did you see the name that went across that graphic, the last name? Volquez from Cincinnati. I think that Edison Volquez. Have you studied that trade at all? Texas
it's been a
got
win-win.
Josh Hamilton, and Cincinnati got Edison Volquez. And Cincinnati got a heck of a pitcher this year. He's pitching great, like Aaron Cook is, for a team that's doing poorly. Have you seen what Josh Hamilton is doing in Texas?
Huge numbers, right?
Leading the league in RBIs with 44.
We talk about him quite a bit. You'll bring him up.
He's a great story.
8 home runs, 44 RBIs. Hamilton having a huge year, as you said. Second in total bases. In on the hands, just buried it in there. You were talking about Josh Hamilton, number 2 on that list. An interesting study too. There's Carlos Quentin.
How about that? Good for Carlos Quentin.
I agree.
Good things happen to good kids, and he found himself a nice little spot in the south side of Chicago, left field, where he doesn't have to carry the load. He can, he can let Paul Konerk go and Jim Thome and those big old rascals as that sinker just dives under the bat of Holiday, and he just deposits him quickly back on the bench. Was that the chance? I think that was just the sinker, wasn't it, Darren?
I think it was, yes.
Yeah, that was just a sinking fastball. You don't see many fastballs in the dirt swung at unless you're Brandon Webb or Aaron Cook.
Well, he's been so effective tonight with command of that changeup that I would imagine, Grace, you find yourself seeing a fastball, seeing a little bit of velocity, and you want to commit.
It's getting to the point where these hitters just want nothing to do with the changeup, so they see hard, and you just automatically swing at it.
Pitching carefully to Helton. The curveball misses outside. 2-0 the count.
Haven't seen Webb fall behind too many hitters tonight, but this is a guy you don't want to make a habit of falling behind. He's also not only a talented hitter, Todd Helton, Darren, but he's also one of the smartest hitters I ever played against.
Explain a little deeper, if you will.
Well, he seems to know. It's almost like he's in the pitcher's meeting with the pitcher and catcher before the game. He knows exactly how pitchers are going to attack him. He seems to know when every pitch is going to come.
That, by the way, is the first 3-ball count of the ball game for Brandon. He's a guy that doesn't, by the way, and we talked about this last year, Todd Helton, doesn't like to go in the video room very much.
Doesn't need to. He's a feel guy. Sometimes that video room, and because of all our technology now, I mean, gosh, you can get lost in that video room breaking tape down and breaking down your at-bats and whatnot. Todd Helton's more of a feel guy.
Look at that bullet to Burke. The letter was all the way. Wow. Doesn't matter. Even if they say, look what I found. Brandon Webb with a smile. Hey, partner, thanks for picking me up. Half-Life trivia question: since 2000, the National League West team's days spent alone in first place. Half-Life. Let's see. How about the Diamondbacks?
By a landslide. Okay, that was it.
What are your thoughts of that question?
Well, I thought it was a terrible question, to be honest with you.
Love the answer. I mean, we love it.
Well, we saw it for about a second.
Would you like to see that list again? Chris Snyder, the man from Texas, looking for a Texas leaguer. He just found one. Getting a little sugar, as he likes to say, when they drop one in like that. Here's the list again, Mark Grace.
Been very evenly matched among LA, San Francisco, San Diego. Colorado, not too often. And you just kind of stop and think, you know, besides last year, you know, Colorado had some great teams, but not since 2000. Most of their big time teams were in the 90s. Blake Street Bombers.
That man kind of bridged the gap a bit. He had a chance for the first time last year to end a streak of games played in the regular season without going to the postseason, one of the longest in baseball, as that one is away. By the way, Mark Grace, the other team that was born in 1998, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Look, we talk about the Diamondbacks and all their time in first place. These fans are really fortunate here. There's no doubt about it, because this is the first time ever this late in the season that Tampa Bay has been in first place. Congratulations to them. They won again today.
Man, this is the first time they've been out of fourth place. Just unfortunately for Rays fans, you have been a perennial doormat. And I remember when they came in here last year, Darren Sutton, that we were impressed with them offensively, the Rays. Now they've got some pitching. Scott Kazmir is one of the better pitchers nobody's heard of.
Wheeler and Percival in the back end of the bullpen.
Shields has turned into a good starter.
He's a good one. How about this one? Tampa Bay now is 7 games over 500. It's the first time ever in the history of the franchise they've been more than 6 games over 500. Ever, at any time.
And you got to give a big hats off and a big hearty congratulations to their fine manager, Joe Madden. I know you're a big fan as well.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. With a record like that, I can clearly say he is my guy.
And you know what? I'll let you have him, because
I've been knowing him for a long time, like you have.
Yes, I've been taking too many guys. I'll give you Joe Madden just because you deserve a good guy like Joe Madden.
It's a very interesting man, I tell you. Long-time bench coach, long-time minor league coordinator with the Angels, worked under Mike Scioscia. Want to remind everyone about Saturday night, Trace Adkins live in concert after the D-backs Tigers game. You can get a free game or concert ticket by picking up an 18-pack or larger, which we encourage, of Miller Lite or MGD at your local Fry's. Good lid there. 612-514-8400 or visit dbacks.com.
They don't look like cowboys.
No, they don't.
But hey, he's got a Todd sign.
A lot going on there.
That's for Todd Walsh.
Mark and Darren.
Please interview me. Hey, Todd. I came all the way from somewhere. Todd, go get. Well, we got to get him.
He'll be over there. Hit on the hands. It's popped into the seats. Mark Reynolds wearing those classic old-fashioned stirrups, as we talked about. They tried to recruit Chris Young to join them in their efforts, and Young basically had the response that you did. Remember, you were talking about your legs.
Shake the finger at him.
He shook the finger and he said, I don't have quite the legs to pull that off. I don't like my calves in those stirrups. No thank you. I'm going long pants. Popped into the seats.
They're having a battle.
8 pitches so far. A reminder, fans, if he lays into one, Mark Reynolds, for every home run that D-backs hit this season, Fulton Homes donates $150 to the Central Arizona Search and Rescue Fund. I love when you shake me off with the finger, though. That's a good call.
There's some sheriffs. It's been a while since we've had the sheriff go deep, pull somebody over. That's a great at-bat by Mark Reynolds. Fabulous at-bat.
Now, taking a walk like that,
it's a good sign.
I was going to say, indicative of good things to come.
Well,
you hope.
Well, what it is, it means you're taking the pitches that are out of the strike zone. You're not swinging at pitches that you can't handle, and that's usually what slumps are indicative of. You do so much, you start swinging at pitches out of the zone. So good to see Mark Reynolds. That not only was a walk, Darren, but that was a hard-earned walk. That was a 9-pitch walk.
So here's Jeff Salazar, gets to start tonight in place of Eric Burns.
I'm still thinking bunt. That's why.
Double play. I know you hate to be on the money on that one. This is a man that rolls up double plays like, well, they're going out of business. Both the guys on the list, I mean, this is what they do. That's the way you were talking about the Rockies early. Get it going. Get the runners going, play some little ball. You have to.
I'm actually kind of shocked they're pitching to Burke here. He's already doubled off the wall tonight. Now I understand he's hitting 170. But you got Brandon Webb on deck. So you're taking your chances here with Burke, who's starting to get a little confidence.
1-1 the count. With a double, the first extra base hit of the year.
Well, when you pitch like that, it doesn't matter if you're facing Ted Williams. Perfectly executed by Cook again. These two guys haven't disappointed so far, have they, Darren?
No, it's exactly as we thought. 6 hits for the Diamondbacks. They certainly haven't cashed in like they wanted to. Diamondbacks are 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight. A couple of Kentucky boys, for that matter, going head to head. Cook and Webb, as that one is high. 3-2 the count. Now they'll put him on.
Well, they tried to get him to chase. Didn't bother. I still think this is the move. Now you're thinking, or just these crazy things that go through my mind there. Now I'm thinking, go back to the high school days and try to pull a double steal. See if you can get the catcher to throw through.
Well, why not?
Because honestly, my former teammate Brandon Webb, and I love him like a brother, but I really don't think he's got any chance against Aaron Cook in this at bat.
How about that sit and spin?
Well, he missed it by about 12 feet. But it was pretty. I mean, as great as Brandon Webb is as a pitcher, he's a guy that's even admitted, I don't really like hitting.
I believe right now.
You calling for a hit?
Yep.
I hope you're right.
1-2 the count. Feeling's not quite as strong right now.
Oh, really?
Could have been something I ate.
Wonder why.
Runners on first and third. Ah, there we go.
He had a good rip at a fastball right down the middle.
Does he dare throw him anything besides that sinker? Does he take the risk of leaving a breaking ball out over the plate and speeding up his bat? Or spiking one?
That's exactly right. Throwing a wild pitch with it.
Runner goes, pitch clanks.
Oh, Chris Snyder may have been able to score on that when he just wasn't anticipating it.
It's a stolen base because he had taken off.
This ball just moves too much for Iannetta to hang on to. So you do get the stolen base. I think they were looking to maybe pull some shenanigans, but
Two and two the count. I'm feeling it again.
That makes one of us.
Runners on second and third, 1-0. Maybe it was something I ate. I'll tell you what, when you watch these two pitchers tonight, although the Diamondbacks will tell you they should have a bit more timely hitting, it has been picturesque to say the least. Pitch location, sinkers down in the zone. Changeups having hitters out front as well. And you know you're on your toes when you're working behind Brandon Webb. It's been fun to watch, Gracie.
I've said it many times, Darren. As a former offensive player, I still love, as a baseball purist, a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. On guard!
You said it early, didn't you? There you go. 6-1 ground ball outs to fly ball outs. 6-1, the same thing for Cook. Both of them have 5 strikeouts. Changeup, strike one. First pitch changeup, he bounced it.
And that's the pitch for Brad Hopp now. This is a guy that has worn out Brandon Webb in his career. He's hit his fastball, he's hit his curveball, and now Brandon Webb has got a weapon for Brad Hopp, a pitch that he hadn't seen much of. That great changeup.
And now a curveball.
Only the second one he's thrown today, and they've both gone for strikes.
Again, Hopp, the man with the bat in his hand that has had a boatload of success. There you go. That backs it up.
4 home runs.
Changeup dies at the plate.
I'm thinking comebacker here on the inside corner. What about you?
I think you're right.
That comeback fastball. Now they're going to go off speed again. And wow. Once again, they're right. I think about anything he's throwing right now is going to be the right pitch. Fastball, curveball, changeup. That's the changeup again. And once again, Brad Hopp, a strikeout victim on a changeup.
In a 1-0 pitcher's duel, Chris Iannetta takes strike one.
God, both these guys are just working fast, throwing strikes. These games were a pleasure to play defense behind.
Strike two.
And you're also on your toes, Darren, and your mindset is, I ain't about to mess this game up for this guy. That's how well he's throwing the ball. So anything hit to me, I'm going to make the play. Just missed. Even the ones out of the strike zone are just barely out of the zone. Perfect pitch, 0-2.
Changeup, Snyder blocks it up in case Iannetta had waved at it. (12 of 15 first pitch strikes for Webby). Well, he took that changeup there. It just died at the plate. Good at bat.
That one was well executed there, that changeup. Most swings and misses come on that changeup there, but Iannetta, got to go with the sinker here now, don't you?
Yes. They did. Now the defense gets the play. Mark Reynolds fires it across. 2 outs. Why is it a ground ball, Gracie?
Because it starts up around your waist area, your belt, and then by the time you swing at it, it's at your knees. And you just can't help but hit the top of the baseball with all that downward movement.
Here's Jeff Baker. Oh, and 1 the count.
And if you try to hit the ball out of the ballpark as Jeff Baker just tried to, wow, you're going to try for a long time, and it's going to take you a long time. You got to try to stay up the middle and go the other way. If you try to pull the ball, you're a dead man.
A changeup runs it to 0-2. 1 base hit in the game. Clint Barmas, he singled back in the 4th inning. He also reached on an error in the 1st. He's faced 1 over the minimum. As that one misses away. Got on the side of it just a little bit. 1-2 the count.
That's to the point now where Brandon Webb's just kind of having fun out there, enjoying what he's doing. He even dropped down a little bit on that one.
Strike 3. He got him with a changeup. A 1-0 pitcher's duel rolls on.
On guard.
FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball, brought to you by Jack in the Box and by Sonic. Right back to the action. Aaron Cook misses into Chris Young, who singled and scored in the 1st inning. That's important to mention because that's the lone run in the game. Ooh, wow.
That pitch ended up being down, but it just had such late movement that Tim Cheetah thought it got the knees.
Chris Young, fair ball, up against the wall in front of the bullpen. CY raised his son around with a 2-bagger, his 11th of the year.
One of the rare off-speed pitches we've seen Cook throw tonight. That was either a changeup or something off speed, and you can see Chris Young just went down and drilled it down the left field line.
So now Stephen Drew. Jeff Baker is on the grass at 3rd. All the way in, squared up, looking for a bunt. And he's not bunting. That one is drilled. Right center field. Up against that wall, no bunt needed. Young comes around to score, 2-0. And Stephen Drew is having quite a night. He's now a long ball away from hitting for the cycle. It's the 5th inning.
And Stephen Drew wasn't thinking get him over. He was thinking get him in myself. Fastball in. Stephen Drew clobbers it again to center field. Look at him keep the hands close to his body. Force the bat head to the ball and just crushes it to center field. And that is a big run for the Diamondbacks. Now if you're Diamondback offense, you get a little greedy. You've got to plate Stephen Drew. And you can see Aaron Cook now is just exclusively pounding Orlando Hudson in. Struck him out last at bat, just continually pounding him in, and he gets strike 1 with another one in there. Now he's going to try to go away. How good was that?
It's a perfect pitch.
How good was that? And you could see that Orlando Hudson was thinking inside. He was cheating in there, opening up that hip. Sure enough, Cook said, not this time.
He's got some angry velocity right now, by the way.
He's throwing hard. right back in there with 94 miles an hour. He's like, sinker this. I'm just going straight gas.
No, you're right. I mean, because Gracie, he has straightened it out a little bit. I'm not saying he's throwing a four-seam or straight fastball, but because he's turning it loose a little more, he's throwing it exactly where he wants, not quite sinking as much.
It doesn't have as much time to sink because he's throwing it harder.
Wow. Runner at second, 2-0. Oh, he thought about it.
It was everything O could do to lay off that one, but he did.
Boy, if there ever was a body language guy, even though he never stops talking, it'd be this guy. The way he hops out of the batter's box. Last night, the way he took what should have been strike 3. Read his body language, he looked like he had been struck out. That's close to the pitch he chased to strike out in his last at bat. Now that one was a little further out.
Yeah, that one, he got underneath it and just kind of cast it out there.
Dodgers won today. They beat Milwaukee 7-2.
Bummer.
They're 4 out behind the Diamondbacks.
Looks like he backed off a little bit, almost like a batting practice sinker on that one. Am I wrong, Darren?
Yeah, he backed off, certainly. He's been throwing so hard, almost overthrowing, but with command.
Well, I think he was mad.
There's no doubt he was mad.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because of that man at second. 3-2.
Just missed.
Todd Walsh, what do you have for us, partner?
Well, we have important news to pass along, and our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to our friend here in FSN Arizona. We hope yours as well, Salo Morris. We just had him up in the booth not too very long ago. You remember the Relay for Life that raised over $30,000. Salo battling cancer, and guys, he's had a significant setback. He's in the hospital. He has a very serious surgery coming up on Monday or Tuesday, and we were told that Salo really would love to hear from you. Anybody. Doesn't matter who it is, if you've never met him, if you heard about him. And that's how you can get a message to Salo Morris. So I was on that website not too very long ago. Many people from our offices at FSN Arizona who frankly have fallen in love with this kid have posted messages, and we're encouraging you to do so as well. And you can see obviously the address there, and we got to know him through the Eric Burns show and some of our other projects here in FSN Arizona. So if you can and you have time, Salo, we know, is watching. We're thinking about you, and don't give up the fight.
Let Darren and I be the first to tell Salo we love you, pal, and we're thinking about you.
Well, his courage, instead of focusing on himself, when any other person in the world would be in this situation, he's focusing on others, amazingly enough. I don't know how you do that. I have no idea how you do that, but Salo, our thoughts and prayers, as Gracie said, they're with you here in the next few days. Broken down. And the play is made out there. Doug Davis is set to go, by the way, this weekend at Tucson. Second start for Tucson, first one. Certainly a step in the right direction, and then the Diamondbacks will see if he stretches out. Finally, he threw 2 very long bullpens between. I'm talking about 60-pitch bullpens to try and stretch out his arm. He said he didn't quite have cutter command that he wanted. So the Diamondbacks will prepare for the future with Doug Davis.
You wouldn't say Doug is really one of those command guys, would you?
No, he's effectively wild.
Yeah. So for Doug to say I really didn't have the cutter command I wanted, in other words, he's in midseason form.
He's ready to go.
Right.
Get those hitters a little impatient, a little over aggressive, tired of waiting.
And beat them up with those cutters inside and get them to swing at him.
Yeah, the next few weeks will be interesting for the Diamondbacks. Stay tuned. For that reason only. See Doug come back, his battle from cancer. To see where Max Scherzer fits into the picture. Max will be pitching Saturday. I wouldn't even, at this point, hazard a guess. See where Chad Tracy fits in. He's down playing in the minor leagues right now.
Yeah, those are decisions, Darren, that we're very lucky we don't have to make. Bob Melvin and the decision makers of the Arizona Diamondbacks have a great problem. 25 spots and more than 25 capable players at filling them.
That was a great shot a moment ago. Randy and Dan Herron talking, and Max Scherzer listening to everything that's being said there. That's great.
You're more of a Rush or Ozzy Osbourne guy. Randy, a big rock and roll fan. There's Max. The blue eye on Herron and the brown eye on Johnson.
Yeah, that unique look that we've seen with Max Scherzer. High drive, deep left field. Holiday can kiss it goodbye. Arizona Diamondbacks 5, the Colorado Rockies nothing. Home run number 3 for Snyder on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, another mistake to Snyder. And boy, did he ever clobber that one. Just right down the middle, and just a matter of how far after that one. Boy, that's huge for Snyder. Boy, he's swinging the bat awfully well in May.
A single and a homer tonight. In his last 10 games, if you include tonight, last 11 games, he's got 14 hits, hitting right about 450, and 6 of those hits are extra base hits. To nothing.
And the way Brandon Webb's throwing the baseball, if you're a Rockies fan, you're not real pleased right now.
Slider up in the zone. We'll do it again. 1-2 the count. 412 feet that home run as they put the tape measure on it a moment ago. Mark hits that one a mile high. The Rockies will give it a look, specifically Helton. That's about 8 rows back. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Rockies. 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for the Diamondbacks. Remember, folks, it was just a couple of days ago. This club wearing white tonight. They were wearing gray, and they didn't look so solid.
And that's going to have to change, Darren. Diamondbacks are now, well, you're far enough into the season to start to see trends. And right now, offensively, this team is very, very good in this ballpark. Terrific in this ballpark. And, well, lousy on the road offensively.
Three and 2 the count, 5-0 the score. The Diamondbacks are 9-8 on the road. There's another walk.
Another great at bat from Reynolds.
Arizona overall this year has scored 5.5 runs per game. And they hit 283 with runners in scoring position. And you can see the work that Cook has had to put in there. Certainly have leaned on the home run more in the month of April. A home run every 57 at bats, the Diamondbacks in May, one every 27 in April.
Almost caught Mark Reynolds napping over there at first base.
That wouldn't have been a comfortable feeling at all. He would have probably pushed those pants right down over those stirrups. Salazar struck out looking and rolled into a double play. Out front with that one. A long, long run for Hawk, and that's about 5 rows back. The Detroit Tigers come to town. As a matter of fact, I want to say hello to all the members of the Detroit Tigers that are watching us right now. They're here. They're in town. Very interesting series for a club that, well, they'll tell you if they're watching. They've underachieved. Very disappointing year for the Tigers for a variety of reasons. They lost today to Kansas City. They were swept by the Royals. They are now 16-25. Still is going to be, to me, breaking ball over the outside corner. I'm still intrigued by the series no matter what the record is for the Tigers with the offense they can put out there.
I'll tell you what, if the Diamondbacks even think of overlooking the Detroit Tigers, well, I know Bob Melvin, especially Kirk Gibson, won't allow that. There's way too much talent on that Detroit team to even think of overlooking.
Boy, how about that move? And he gets the inside corner. And that's strike 3.
That's the comebacker on the inside corner. Boy, that's impossible to hit. If it was a strike, it's, well, it's impossible to hit. Great pitch.
Gracie.
Yes.
This team hits .305 at home. They've scored 143 runs. On the road, they hit .221. They've scored 77 runs. How about Chris Burke? Good night for him. Just to finish the thought on what you were talking about earlier. Just looking to score a little bit more, get more comfortable offensively away from home.
They hit close to 90 points less on the road than they do at home. That's a nice piece of hitting right there from Burke. Diving Herrera. And you get Brandon Webb out of the way. Oh, I'm sorry, Darren. You're expecting big things here in this at-bat,
I can't believe you just said that. Oh, look at that. Bullet to short. Just got it. Goodness gracious. They got lucky that time. They certainly didn't have any kind of luck against Chris Snyder. He got a pitch he liked. Nice piece, as the governor calls him, leaves the ballpark. 5-0 Diamondbacks. Dan Herron on the mound against his foes from the American League when he pitched in the AL, the Detroit Tigers. The big bats of the Detroit Tigers welcome to Arizona, no doubt about it. Miguel Cabrera, he's much better than that. The cover boy on the Tigers media guide is Maglio Ordonez, a guy who many said could have been the most valuable player a season ago if there wasn't a guy by the name of Alex Rodriguez. But there is that guy.
Maglio got my vote, but I don't have a vote.
Tigers have had a little bit of luck against Dan Herron. 6 starts against Detroit, 1-4 with a 5.12 ERA. But when you talk to people with the Tigers, they certainly have a lot of respect for him and what he's done. Bouncing ball, Orlando Hudson won't make the play, and that'll be an error of the Diamondbacks second baseman. And you find yourself fortunate it's 5-0 with that young man's speed.
Well, this one just, Orlando allowed the ball to play him. You saw him back up, and once you back up, the ball gets to take that extra hop on you, and that's when you get eaten alive, and that's what happened to Orlando there.
So now Willie Taveras gets a chance to pinch hit. Taveras hitting just .211 this year with 1 walk this season. Check that, .232 for Taveras. Just not where he wants to be. Clint Hurdle has him, well, playing off his bench right now with that kind of speed. You know you must be underachieving.
Oh, he was So significant in their big run to the World Series last year. Did a great job. Hadn't been so much fun this year for him.
So Taveras is erased. The runner moves up. Want to remind everyone, grab your cell phone.
Why?
Those of you AT&T customers, Gracie, it's awesome. You get video updates of your team. All you have to do is text Diamondbacks alerts to MLB Go or 65246, and you can catch all the highlights of your favorite team.
Can I go D-backs?
Oh no! If now I'm told. Now wait a minute. I've just been told you can go D-backs.
You can.
Is this on?
Hello?
Hello? You can go
Darren?
D-backs.
You can go D-backs
You
now.
can.
Yes. That's big league. Save you a little time.
So back to the mound. He'll look the runner back. What a pitch. In on his hands, and Spielborgs is erased.
Well, just like you draw it up in pitcher's fielding practice, you get a comebacker on one hop, check the runner, get him back to second base, quickly deliver to first. Perfectly done.
And so now Clint Barnes.
And what's he done tonight that nobody else has done for the Rockies, Darren?
Well, Mark Grace, it's funny you would ask. He has singled.
Has anybody else for the Rockies?
Oh, no. Mr. Barnes has reached on an error as well, as that one misses. 1-0 the count. In a game like this, the one thing that you don't find yourself saying very often is car.
Haven't had to. And pretty crisply played. Certainly pitched.
So you can do that.
So that's great. What a time
Or
save.
that. What a time save. Bouncing foul ball.
You know me, Darren. I'm always looking to
Streamline.
Exactly.
T-backs. Go ahead and text that. Now look how long that takes. Is this on?
Hello?
1-1 the count. Reynolds tries to stick with it. Just hold on to it,
Oh,
boys.
hey.
Oh, now. Be careful out there. They both end up on the dirt. And
Well, they're having fun too, Darren.
they're both smiling.
You gotta love the effort. They're young and they're good. And they're having a good time.
Clint Barnes has found his way on all 3 times tonight. And here's Matt Holliday.
With a chance to get his team right back in the ball game.
Truer words haven't been spoken. Little things that are done in front of MVP caliber players. Brandon Webb, time to buckle down. 1-0 the count. Just 70 pitches as he works here in the 6th inning. All the numbers I would imagine are good for Mr. Holliday. Did he wave at that one? The runner swipes the bag on a delay steal.
I don't know if they called that a strike or a ball yet. They called it a ball. They said he did not go around.
Well, it looked like he might have gone around there. Two and 0 the count. Very easy to say, well, now that opens up a base, but Todd Helton waits on deck.
I ain't messing with him.
This is just the way the Rockies want it to be. 2-0. Popped up. Chris Burke gives it a look. And just can't lean far enough. It's about 10 feet back. 2-1.
You don't see Matt Holliday get beat with 2-0 fastballs very often, but he just got beat with one that bore in on his hands. Another good pitch from Webb at a big time. And this is one strong hombre.
All over the entire ballpark, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's not looking to specifically pull.
He doesn't need to pull the ball to hit it out of the ballpark or hit it in the gap.
This time a bouncing ball. Orlando Hudson trying to save a run. He just did.
He saved two.
FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball, brought to you by Pennzoil. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And by Gila River Casinos. Is this your lucky day? Our Coors Light Frost Brewed Freeze Cam. It almost looks like it's freezing every time Brandon Webb throws a changeup, because the hitters certainly are frozen.
He's been a lot of fun to watch this evening again.
Left-hander Josh Newman takes the baseball, 26 years old. Out of Ohio State University. And that one bounces in there. All-tail call to the pen.
Well, the Buckeye, Josh Newman, that'll make our stage manager of the Stars, Scott Snyder, very happy. He a big Buckeye fan. Should probably get a picture of him in the booth.
2-0 the count. He is a big Buckeyes fan, as that one is fouled back.
More of a football Buckeye fan, and that's always a.
There he is.
There's
Down
Scott Snyder
right
down
now.
the seats. Studley, as we like to call him.
Got to get him a new jersey.
It's always good to be a Buckeye fan until they play a team in the SEC. Florida, LSU.
Changeup is high. 3-2 the count.
Tom Brenneman, my old partner, a big Buckeye fan as well.
Loves it. He's looking forward to that game against USC on September 13th. As Chris Young goes down on strikes.
Well, do you have a homer in you for the cycle there, Darren?
I love that. Mr. Colburn and Mr. Gonzalez, the two to do it in the history of the Diamondbacks. We've been looking for a couple of them this year. Connor Jackson ran through the bag and on into third for a triple. It's happened twice in Diamondbacks history. As the breaking ball drops in there, 0-1 the count. He knows that feeling. He's been in that box. Steven's been hitting left-handers too.
Well, we almost saw a cycle here from Jose Reyes of the Mets. He tried to get an inside the park home run and was thrown out by 75 feet.
I didn't really enjoy that.
I wasn't a fan.
Well, how about it, just a base hit? Just a plain old-fashioned extra base hit for Stephen Drew. What an unbelievable night.
He'll get another at-bat, too.
Oh, you're right. Let's walk through his night, folks, prior to this double.
Well, let's start the evening. Well, let's just get a base hit. Boy, did we not know there was grander things to come, Darren Sutton. There's the triple off the wall, and bang, an RBI double. And then that might have been my favorite hit of the evening, what we just saw, Darren. Driving a pitch into left center from a left-handed pitcher. That means that front shoulder staying close and driving right back towards the pitcher. You're not pulling off the ball. That's when you know a left-handed hitter is getting locked in, is when you start driving the ball the other way against left-handed pitchers.
Well, it's good to see the 11th hit for the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1-0 the count. 2-0 the count to Hudson. Coming into play tonight, Stephen Drew was hitting .264 against those that throw from the right side. Against left-handers, hitting over 300, .302.
He's trying to get that average over 300, up to .297.
Three and one the count. Singled in a run, struck out, walked.
Changeup.
One of those that he pulls. Comes a long, long way.
Well, if you throw it 3-1, you got to throw it 3-2, don't you, Darren?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Orlando Hudson, I should be looking for a changeup. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'll say. If I'm Orlando Hudson right now, I'm looking for a changeup. And he threw the fastball and missed.
Couple of runners on for Justin Upton. Justin tonight has struck out, grounded out, and popped to second. The Rockies starting play today 10 games back of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Last year, the entire season, they were never more than 8 games back. Matter of fact, on September 11th, they were 7 games out of first place. And they went on that incredible run to wrap up the season. But right now, they're sitting an awful long way away from first place. 0-1 the count. And in the case of those two, they don't care where they're sitting, do they?
What a great shot that is.
Bouncing ball. There's one. You better hurry. They did. If you're just joining us, our game summary. Well, a big part of the story is Brandon Webb. He has only given up a pair of hits tonight. And Gracie, it's been a lot of support from the likes of Stephen Drew having a big night and Chris Snyder with a home run. You never want to overlook offense because without it, you don't win. But with pitching, it certainly, as you said earlier, allows the offense to relax, and the pitching's been there. So Webb goes back to work against Todd Helton.
Whoa, whoa, no, no, no. You can't throw me into that.
Yeah.
You can't throw me into that. Just Darren.
That is
Just
beautiful.
Darren is the laptop wizard.
That's
there
what I'm
you
talking
go.
about. Bouncing ball. Stephen Drew with another chance to flash his glove, and he does.
Have a night again, Stephen Drew.
Right fielder Brad Hawk.
Going a long way to his right. The backhand. The plant. Takes his time. And then the perfect strike over to Burke to retire Todd Helton.
You are a laptop wizard, my friend.
No, you are, because you always cheat in our trivia question.
I don't know if I've been doing that lately. I just haven't been guessing.
Well, you couldn't cheat on the one tonight. It was so bad. You couldn't even laptop that one. Who's in charge of that question tonight?
Well, that actually was Kurt Zacher.
It was Kurt Zacher tonight.
And he, you talk about as that one is hit on the ground. Steven gives it a try, that and played so dramatically to pull. So dramatically that Steven ends up giving it a go instead of Orlando Hudson.
Well, that's your shortstop right there, Stephen Drew. Orlando Hudson, the second baseman, is not even in your picture. And that's hitting it right through the shift.
Want to know the count to Chris Iannetta. Tossing a shutout is Brandon Webb. Curveball.
When he hasn't thrown many tonight, Darren, but the handful that he's thrown have just been dandies.
He grips the changeup. You can see him right behind his back there. Then he adjusts when he decides what he wants to throw. Dan Herron does the same thing with a split-fingered fastball. I guess the thinking
always holds it that way.
I guess the thinking is the toughest pitch for you to grip, you go ahead and, for lack of better words, pre-grip it.
Okay.
And then it's easier to adjust. But if you're having to dig for a split or a changeup, you might tip it, right?
Gotcha.
I mean, as a hitter, wouldn't you have been looking for anything you could see?
And this is a changeup. And you know what, Darren? Honestly, there was a lot of really good guys that could see pitchers tip and whatnot. And Steve Finley. He thought he was really good at it. Now, he was what we called him wind talker. Remember that movie, The Wind? He used the secret codes and all that back when in the war. But Steve Finley, he thought he was like, hey, I saw his eyebrow move when he throws a fastball, and he licks his lips when he throws a curveball. Huh? Man, just you go look for that. Or he one time knew that John Franco was going to throw him a changeup because he saw his forearm muscle move. Huh?
Well, at a certain point, too much information's not good for a guy like you, right? That's a good piece of hitting. That one will roll all the way to the wall. May break up the shutout. Let's watch. Up shooting another round. Hudson fires it to the plate. He's in, safe with the slide. The shutout has broken up. The score is 5-1. Chris Iannetta, his first hit of the game. It's a double and it's an RBI.
Well, I think Chris Iannetta saw Brandon Webb's forearm move, so he knew the fastball was coming. And Brad Hawk hit that bag perfectly. He's bringing it. He's bringing it with passion. Oh, where's home plate? Oh, it's right there in a good slide. So no more shutout. And Brandon Webb, with one out here in the 7th, looking to keep it just right there. It's a good way to do it.
Boy, what a great job. Stephen Drew right behind him. There's the tag. There's the out. What a great job there by Brandon Webb.
He's turned into such a better fielder the last couple of years as well, Darren. This is a pitch that would have gone into center field a couple of years ago. Instead, now he snares it, makes a perfect throw to Stephen Drew,
Second baseman,
and the perfect rundown. Never panics, stays in control. Beautifully done.
So the runner on first, 2 away. An excellent job by Brandon Webb. And that one is bunted foul. And there's, you know, when you're a pitcher, just a way to slow the game down, to not be surprised by anything. The fewer throws, the better. That's the bottom line on a play like that.
Yeah, the fewer times you throw it, the fewer times you have a chance of dropping the ball or throwing it away. Even big leaguers botch rundowns.
He waited till he got the base runner back to second, not towards third, back towards second. Steven sneaking in and released it.
Did you ever play that in the backyard or front yard? Hot box or pickle, whatever they called it. That was fun.
Oh, I love a good game of pickle.
And when I was real young growing up in the South, they called it hot box.
Hot box.
And then when I moved out to Southern California, that's where it became pickle.
Which is where I grew up. Played it in the 2-2 the count. Oh, anybody.
Anytime.
5-1 the score.
You're getting a lot of Mike Bauer in you these days.
Can't help it.
You're a fan.
Waves it a pitch away. You all played pickle when you were kids, didn't you? High drive. Deep left field. Holiday can kiss it goodbye. Chris Snyder certainly enjoyed kissing it goodbye earlier tonight. 5-1 the score. Todd Walsh, Mark Grace, and Darren Sutton. Glad to have you back at the ballpark. Want to remind everyone about Family Fridays. Purchase a Family Friday ticket pack for just $15. That includes a ticket to the game, a medium Pepsi, a Diamondback dog, a free pass to the Phoenix Zoo, post-game fireworks. Call 602-514-8400 or visit dbacks.com/Fridays. Fridays. As Chris Snyder hacking, fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike to count. The Tigers coming to town tomorrow night for a big weekend series. If you're hoping to come on Saturday night, you better hurry. Find a way to get your tickets soon, because they're going fast, and the rest of the weekend going fast as well. It should be great energy here. Interleague play gets underway. That Tigers fan already settled into his seat, ready for a big weekend.
Got his Tiger colors, his hat.
And he is texting D-backs onto his phone. It's coming our way. Ah, that's a great try, Gracie. That's a great try. Where'd that hit? That hit up here, didn't it?
It was right up there.
Yeah, that was a good effort. Oh, you know what? That's a good sign right there.
They're booing the dog out of me right now.
Bouncing ball to third. Well, so they'll stop booing. I've been asked by a lot of people again today, and we occasionally need to explain it. That's not the sign.
No.
On the other side of the sign, it says, "Hey, Mark Grace, what does car mean?" So I think tonight we probably need to explain it again.
Not gar. A C. Car. Well, you know, we're going back to the days of playing hot box and or pickle. Remember when you played, you know, once you got into the street, you played with a tennis ball or you played with a wiffle ball or whatever it was you played on, sometimes even a super ball or a rock. When you were playing in the street with your friends, if a car came, inevitably somebody who saw it first, car, and everybody got out of the street and you waved at Mrs. Sutton as she went by to get you at your banjo lessons.
Yes, I love the banjo.
And then when the car went by, you game on or time in, something like that, and you go on to play until the next car came. So that's what car means.
No.
That sign there, you will never hear those words come out of our mouths.
2-2 the count. So there you go, folks. If I've been asked, by the way, 5 times, it's been 100.
I love it. I love that people have taken to that.
Not only have they taken to it, I mean, it's such an easy thing to explain. Oh,
hey,
boy.
D. Sutton, you're
Holy
buffed.
cow.
You've never looked so good.
Got him with
thong.
the changeup down the way. That's kind of very scary. And Gracie looks buff, too.
That
He's
looks
in
like
a two-piece.
Bikini for me.
Wow.
She may know something about me that I'd rather not get out, huh?
Here's a look ahead. What's Brewing, brought to you by Miller Lite, breaking down interleague play.
Darren, are you a big interleague guy?
I am. I'm a huge interleague fan. I'm a huge fan of interleague play. You? You're old school.
Well, yes, and I take that as a compliment. I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to interleague play. I think it can be very good.
Okay.
If you get a universal set of rules. In other words, get rid of the stupid, stinking DH. Get rid of it.
Good filter, by the way.
And or put the DH in the National League. If you have a universal, if you have a universal set of rules, it has a chance to work. And let's talk more about it when we come back, because I blew it and started talking about it right when we're about to go to break.
That's very.
And Reggie Sanders taking this one in from the Diamond Club, getting set for Diamondbacks Live, and Brandon Webb looks like he's in line to win number 9.
This man is on a mission, and I like what I'm seeing.
You a fan of the DH?
Well, yeah, I'm a fan of DH. I got an opportunity to play in both leagues, so yes, I am a fan.
All right, let's see what these guys have to say. Fellas, take it away.
All right, thank you very much. 0-1 the count. Look forward to talking baseball with you. To Scott Posednik, veteran pinch hitter, now relegated to a bench role. Continue your thoughts on interleague play in this 5-1 game.
And what I'm saying about if there was a universal set of rules, what happens when an American League team comes to a National League ballpark, and let's just look ahead to this weekend, the Detroit Tigers coming here. Trust me when I tell you, no Tiger pitcher has practiced his hitting this year. No Tiger pitcher has worked on his bunting this year, or his base running, or anything that comes with being an offensive player.
Right.
So when they come here, it's going to be very disadvantaged. It's going to be a disadvantage to the Tigers, because that number 9 spot is just going to be. You might as well run somebody out there that can't do it. So they're not going to be up to snuff with the Diamondbacks as far as hitting's concerned. The pitchers, yeah, Mike Owings, you kidding me? So that's a disadvantage for the American League team. Now, that's a beautiful piece of hitting there by Posednik. Better get it in, Mr. Salazar. This kid can run still.
And the throw to the cutoff man gets by. Posednik now racing to third. The throw from Burke is not in time. Outside of the glove of Reynolds. A runner at third. Brandon Webb climbs close to 100 pitches.
Well, I don't know what happened at second base. I actually looked away, and next thing you know, the ball's over by the tarp. I think if Reynolds hangs on to the ball, we might get an out there. Oh, yeah, he would have definitely been out. And you could see that Adrian Johnson was about to ring him up. Nope, safe. Couldn't hold on to the ball.
It's just a little routine single, I should say, and then a throw back in just to get it back into the pitcher. And it's a runner on third. Literally, just to throw back into. Make sure you, right here. Get it back in here.
The throw. It hit the base, I think. I think it hit the base. And that's where, I think if you're Stephen Drew there, you just have to cut that ball off. There's no play at second base. Don't let it hit the bag. Very strange. Don't think I've ever seen that, Darren.
No. Well, again, we talk about these situations. If you're Brandon Webb, I mean, you certainly hope you can pull a rabbit out of a hat. That's a single and an error on the left fielder, Salazar, by the way. But you can't worry about that runner. You just start trading runners for outs here.
Absolutely. Find a way to get an out here. That's a good way to start.
A buckler.
So let me get my
Go
last
ahead, absolutely.
Now, on the other end, when the Diamondbacks go to an American League ballpark, let's say we go to Boston this year.
We do.
American League teams, when they're choosing their 25 to go north with them in spring training, one, and most of the time 2 of those 25 roster spots, 2 spots are chosen for the DH spot. The Big Papi is the DH for Boston. The Diamondbacks, they don't have any spots on their 25-man roster where you'd say he's going to be our DH this year. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's a disadvantage for National League teams when they go to American League parks.
Yeah, usually the designated hitter, especially in today's game, is quite a hitter.
Right. So let me ask you this, Darren. Who do you think would be the DH if the Diamondbacks were in an American League park tomorrow? Who would you think would be the DH? Say there's a right-handed pitcher pitching.
My thoughts are with Robbie Hammock on the roster currently,
right,
that probably Miguel Montero would be the DH, because you then have a backup catcher. Montero with Good power from the left side.
So your backup catcher would be your DH.
Which makes your point. And nothing against Miguel, but
or Chris Burke.
Right.
Or maybe Jeff Salazar. You know, a fourth outfielder or a fifth infielder, somebody like that. Not Big Papi.
Outside, 3-2 the counter, Gary Sheffield.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. So that's disadvantage American League or National League.
Well, and if you want to swing it the other way, Gary Sheffield with the bad shoulder might not be able to play at all this weekend because he can't DH. That one is grounded foul.
Spielborgs and Webb battling now. Webb up to 105 pitches. Kind of the same story as last night, Darren. The Diamondbacks get out to a comfortable lead, and then late innings, Colorado trying to make it interesting again. This ends up being a big batter for Webb. And he missed it. Missed with it and lost him.
Well, now in a situation where a swing of the bat could really change the game.
Now it's decision time for Bob Melvin. Do you stay with your ace against a guy that's hit you pretty hard tonight? Barmas has gotten a couple of hits and reached on an error. And you might think that Brandon Webb could be running on fumes. Gracie, help me get to Sut's hut. And Carr. Now, see, that's an interesting. We've got some information but it's not. We're not going to call it Sut's hut. Is that correct?
We're not going to call it the gas station. We're not going to call it Sut's hut. We want to be able to call it all of those things because those are all great names. We're going to have nights that tie into it, folks, because you are diehard fans, you're special fans. You're going to be redheads. Redheads.
Redheads. Like Lucille Ball?
Well, if that's your pleasure, absolutely.
Oh, because of the color, the Sedona red.
I don't know that that's the only reason, though. Runner goes. Swings through. Snyder holds on. So runners on second and third now for Clint Barmas.
Well, whose idea was redheads?
We went through Todd Walsh's emails.
Is that what it was? And did you choose it or did Todd? Or the governor?
Now, who do you think chose it?
The governor.
A committee.
A committee, okay.
We had a meeting, a lot of emails.
Conference call?
Yes.
Monday?
There actually was a conference call.
Good.
Outside corner, 0-2.
Super pitch. So redheads. We're going to call it redheads.
We're gonna have,
I'll warm up to it.
I know, we're going to have a gas station night out there. Probably the second event. We're going to explain it here in a little bit, but a big situation. That one is nubbed. Webb will go to first. The run will score. Runner moves up to third. An RBI there. Here's what we can tell you. It's a $25 ticket. We begged Derek Hall for that. It's in the club bullpen in left field. That's a $25 ticket usually. You will get a custom T-shirt at the game. And the first Redheads game will be May 28th. Every Wednesday home game after that. The craziest fans, the most loyal fans. Headgear is encouraged. Certainly signs are a must.
Must.
And they've got to be Mark Grace signs.
Redheads.
Here's Matt Holliday.
I'll warm up to it.
I know you will. What you do is you take that name and you make it fit to whatever you want.
Tell me about this committee. Were you on this committee?
Oh, absolutely.
Why wasn't I on this committee?
I think people are very intimidated by you. Bouncing ball, third. That's a foul ball. Foul ball.
What do you mean? I'm a pussycat. What are people intimidated by me for?
Very, very close there at the back. Let's see it again.
Awfully close. You know, you wonder, you can see Adrian Johnson emphatic with his call. You wonder with Mark Reynolds' body in front of the ball, just how he was able to see that.
Into center field, it's a base hit. Look what we have here.
We got a new ball game. We got the tie and run coming up to the plate. And these Rockies just will not go away.
All right. The change is made, and it will be a huge ovation for Brandon Webb.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of AZPB Limited Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of AZPB Limited Partnership.
Well, you hope it's happening. And you hope that 9-0 will be the mark. Brandon Webb just hit the wall. I mean, no other way to put it. He'd gone over 100 pitches, and he also found himself in a situation where he's facing the likes of Matt Holliday with a chance to do some damage. Still, all in all, a very good night for Brandon Webb. Left-hander Doug Slayton comes on to face Todd Helton,
who represents the tying run. He got a hit off Slayton last night in this situation.
Pasetnik started things with a single, and then he moved all the way around on the error. As that one is a strike over the outside corner. By the way, they changed the ruling on that error early, that just throw back into the infield to an error on Orlando Hudson. Oh, and 1 the count.
Really, if that ball hit the bag, how you can give the error to Orlando Hudson?
Yeah, they changed it a little while after. Two runs in.
Nice pitch. Outside corner again.
He's talking to himself, Todd Helton, about that one. I don't think he disagreed.
Well, I think he might have thought it was up, but it was certainly on the plate. And I think Helton might have been looking for a slider and got the fastball and was fooled.
The 0-2. He got him out front. There's your off-speed pitch. Chris Young, he's camping. 2 outs.
Brad Hopp, a very dangerous hitter, is going to be called back. As you see, Todd Helton gets that slider out off the end of the bat. He's fooled, and that was a big-time pitch from Doug Slayton.
And now that Atkins has a bat, Bob Melvin coming back out again.
I don't think you have any choice. I think if you're Clint Hurdle, you have to go to Atkins right here. He's your best hitter.
Chad Qualls coming on. 5-3 the score. FSN Arizona presents D-backs baseball, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today, and by Brown & Brown Chevrolet. We're still the one. All right, Garrett Atkins. He is called upon to pinch hit. Did not get the start tonight. Was 6 for 34 against Brandon Webb with 9 strikeouts. Gets a night off. What a year he's having. Oh my. That one's thrown away by Qualls, and now Holliday will move up.
Well, I want to know why the throw to first base in the first place. Holliday's not going anywhere in that situation. I don't know if it came from the bench or if Qualls just decided. He was off maybe 3 feet. But the 4th Diamondback error puts Holliday in scoring position.
Alltel call to the pen, ERA at 2.91. He's struggled in his last 6 outings. 12 hits in 5 innings of work overall. And that one misses away. 1-0 the count. Certainly can't argue with the body of work. But 10 runs overall as well in that time span.
Well, they just need him to get 1 big out. Just 1. But it's against a tough customer in Atkins.
Fly ball right field. Justin Upton tracking toward the line. He got it.
Well, we're fortunate enough to have Brandon Webb, today's starter, join us. Hey, Brandon Webb, first and foremost, thanks for joining Darren and I. And coming to the ballpark today, you knew you were locked up against a guy that is just having as good a season as you are. Was there a different mindset today coming to the ballpark knowing you're going against Aaron Cook?
No, not really, but you know, whenever you go out there against people's aces, you know, Cookie's one of their 2 aces too. He was having a great year, like you said, and you know you have to bear down, just like when you face Peavy or anybody else's aces. You know you have to bear down, and you're not going to have a lot of room to work with. When we didn't have that for a long time till we got in the 5th inning, got to him a little bit. But you know, I take it as a regular game and go out there and just attack the hitters.
We'll talk to you after the ball game. Thank you.
All right,
Brandon.
guys.
Nice going.
Boy, that's a treat. And we appreciate him agreeing to do that as Chris Burke takes a breaking ball from the left-hander Fuentes.
That was cool.
Special. And a special kind of guy, Gracie, agreeing to do that. A lot of hard work has been done leading up to that.
Can we do that again?
I thought you'd like that.
That was kind of like a ride. You want to go again?
Oh, boy, Dan Herron, obviously the key is if the starter is in a situation in which he's in position to win, we respect that. If you have a tough outing, please go be by yourself and go do what you need to do. But Dan Herron, if it's a good outing, will join us when he comes out of the ball game. Micah Owings is on deck. As that one is fouled off. You liked that, did you, Mark Grace?
Yeah, that was fun. And I gotta admit, Darren, you're the interviewer of the 2 of us, that's for sure. But
I don't know about that.
But thank you for passing me that torch that time, my former teammate, and I got to talk to him. That was great.
Popped up and into the seats. Well, again, we'll talk about it as we have all kinds of moving parts in these last few innings. We thank that man for allowing it to happen. He has to trust us that we will never take advantage of a situation. Mike McNally, too, and handling all of the media relations for the Diamondbacks. As that one misses away. But I learned a lot about your interview skills yesterday, as for the first time I watched you do a long-form interview with Maddie, co-hosting, Justin Upton, Chris Young, and Mark Reynolds.
That was fun.
And it's one of the neatest conversations I've ever heard. And I love doing interviews. You know that. I love it.
And you should. You're very good at it.
Love talking baseball. And with these guys, too, talking about life, you know? What makes them laugh? What makes them, well, at times cry? Is that one? His bounces in there. Did he? Yes, he did. And that might make him cry. I don't have to interview him.
He may have gotten that call right. That bat got out there a long ways.
All right, Micah Owens. As we take a look at the box score in this ball game. Chris Snyder with a 3-run homer. Our APS box score. 5-3 the score. Micah digs in, 10 for 27. Hitting .370. Still isn't good enough, though, to make the game notes batting page. Is not good enough to make the game notes batting page.
Well, you're not allowed to when you're a starting pitcher.
Well, what if you're doing that, though? I mean, what if you're doing that? .370. Fouls that one off.
What are you showing?
Oh, right here, these are the game notes. Mike McNally does a fabulous job with them. Let's see if I can get him a little bit closer. You see the Chris Burke, Eric Burns. He does a great job with them. I'm campaigning to have Mike Owings. He'd be right there behind Augie Ojeda. Down off the end of the bat. Had him out front. It's always fun to watch how he gets pitched like a hitter.
Well, that'll keep him off the hitter's page.
That won't. That big Game-tying home run.
He's got his pitcher's notes. He can just stay on the pitcher's notes.
You don't like that, do you?
You know, that's kind of a
little defensive, I think.
That's kind of our special little place, those hitters' notes. That's where hitters belong.
Oh, my. Hitters also belong in the form of bobbleheads, like Chris Young. First 25,000 fans to this Saturday's D-backs Tigers game. They get a bobblehead, and it's of the likeness of Chris Young. 602-514-8400, or visit dbacks.com. Young bobblehead night, as that one is outside. I can't wait. Add to my collection.
Let's go back to those notes.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's never played a position. You know, so he's, a pitcher. Yeah, he's played the pitcher. Now, I will tell you this, Darren. I wasn't upset, and nor did I expect to be in the pitcher's notes when I pitched an inning.
Really?
I wasn't upset about it at all, and I didn't have anybody clamoring to get me in them.
Well, if I'd have been here, I'd have been doing that for you.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a little work right now. And Mike McNally's fine work and his media relations staff. Love them.
Boy.
They're very, very good at what they do. Best in baseball. I'm just doing a little bit of editing. The 3-1. Popped up, 3-2 the count. But Gracie, he prepares with the pinch hitters. He wears spikes. On the day he's not starting, he wears spikes down to the dugout, like Jim Leland.
Bobby Cox.
But you get my drift. You're not buying it.
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm trying for you, Micah.
And folks, just know, Darren and I are just having some good-natured ribbing. Mike Owens is a special talent.
There you go. I got him in there.
But I'm just not ready to put him on the hitters page yet. Have a night, Stephen Drew.
Isn't that the truth? Swinging for the cycle if he gets one out of here. This is a very tough assignment, Gracie, whether you're dialed in against lefties or not, to hit one out against this lefty.
Yeah, Fuentes, this is a tough one. He can elevate you a fastball, but you got to be awfully quick to get to it.
1-0 the count.
Nice pitch there.
What do you do with that pitch?
Punt.
I mean, that broke behind him.
It did. Threw that one from the foul pole.
It started out right at his hip pocket. Strike.
Remember John Candelaria?
Oh.
He used to do that to left-handers. He was no fun to face from the left side.
Not a real cheerful guy either.
And
kind of just scowl at you.
You know, he had that big sweeping breaking ball that he'd throw from the foul pole, and then he was just ornery enough to plant one between your 1 and your 7 just for fun.
There's that breaking ball. Stephen Drew 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in his career against Fuentes. I tell you, he leaves one of those breaking balls out over the plate, hangs it. That's where it could happen. All is quiet in that pen.
Gas.
Oh, boy.
That's the high fastball I'm talking about. He'll elevate you one, but you got to be some kind of quick to catch up with it. Stephen a little tardy.
Crowd gets behind him. He has a 4-hit night on his resume. And the Diamondbacks now are at the point where a run would be huge. Just a single extra run. Brandon Lyon, I imagine, was warming a moment ago, taking a break. The 2-2. Broke his bat, eats him up out there. He reaches. No matter how they score it, Stephen Drew has been on 5 times tonight.
Give him a hit.
We're waiting. If he gets to 5, it will be the first time he's ever gotten there.
Judge Smales. Well, we're waiting.
It is an error on the second baseman.
Oh, come on, man. We got a official score that got up on the wrong side of the bed today. Boo!
And they're not saying Drew.
No, I'm booing that score.
They're saying boo.
That's not Drew. That's boo.
1-0 the count. Popped up. And into the seats it goes. Again, the Detroit Tigers are already in town, getting ready for this series. I tell you what, in Denver, Colorado, that may have been ruled a base hit for Stephen Drew, as they always look to protect the Rockies' fielding percentage. Line drive, dying and left. It's down, it's knocked down. A run will score. Boy, a big insurance run, and that average goes up from 500. That is incredible. Another hit. Gracie with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Are you kidding me?
I love it when you say that, Darren, and he just goes to another level, and that's something that Matt and I got to talk about with those young kids yesterday, and we'll all hear it. I thought that might have got him right in the melon, but it got him in the arm, and another huge hit. I don't want to ruin the interview, but Matt and I asked him a question. Whoa. And in so many words, those three told me that in a clutch situation or when a big hit's needed, Orlando Hudson's the guy they want in the box.
I heard that. I heard that. Two and 0 the count. The first pitch almost took the building down there. And the next pitch was inside to Justin Upton as well. 6-3 the score. They trying to hit him?
I don't know. I know Fuentes, he's got pretty good control. You know, this goes back a little bit too. Upton and Troy Tulowitzki got into it a little bit last year. I don't know what they would be throwing it Upton for tonight. He's 0 for 4.
He drives it deep right center field. Right back at you, Colorado Rockies. 1 run is in. Hudson on around. Upton to third. Sliding. Triple. Let sleeping dogs lie.
I just got chills, Darren Sutton. I just got chills watching that young man. You know what? Get a little angst, get a little ire, and get a little upset. Swing at a 3-0 pitch and smash it, and then say, I'm not settling for a double. I love it. Yeah, I don't blame you guys. That kid's special.
I got a little too into it, folks. My apologies, but we live through these guys.
What are you apologizing for? I think it's beautiful. If it wasn't you, I'd have been yelling.
Oh, man. You know what? That's baseball. That's why. That dugout, that's baseball. You're coming in a couple of times, whether you meant to or not. 3 times in a row you came in. There's a little bit of history there between Justin Upton and the Colorado Rockies. And as you sit on 3-0, you can't hit the baseball any harder.
He clobbered it. We're going to have a pitching change.
Fans check out the scoreboard. The D-backs have scored a run. done so far tonight. That means all fans in attendance will receive a coupon for free chalupa as you exit Chase Field. Compliments of Taco Bell and
Chip Hale clapping, waving our man Justin Upton into third, and Chip Hale will be our man certainly on Saturday. FSN Arizona gets you even closer to the game. He will have a microphone on the entire game. You get to hear what he has to say on the field, in the dugout, and during the game with the Detroit Tigers. And we, again, talking about cooperation. We heard from Brandon Webb during the game a moment ago after he came out. We'll hear from Chip throughout the game. And we appreciate certainly that organization that we work with, the Diamondbacks. And there is a strike. Arias comes on out of the bullpen and goes to work. Thank you, boss. Good stuff that's going on. We'll do our best to uphold our end of the responsibility as the breaking ball drops in there 0-2. And that's just to kind of be, if you will, the middleman between a very good baseball team and you. That's really what we try to do. We get in the way sometimes. We try to stay out of the way and let you enjoy this team. Because, boy, are they fun.
Well, Darren, this team creates passion. And it's been instilled in you, in me. And I think a lot of people watching tonight are right there with the excitement you and I both show. So sometimes we get passionate right along with these guys.
8-3 the score. Breaking ball misses outside. Cool is such a simple word. It's kind of a junior high word, but that was really cool what Justin Upton did. I mean, hard to describe. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Enjoying talking to a member of the Diamondbacks. Enjoying watching these talented young players. The Diamondbacks lead it. 8-3 the score. What an inning that was. Oh, everybody's happy. Want to remind everyone, here is your SRP Cool Change tip of the game and a reminder. For every run the D-backs score this season, SRP will plant 10 trees. Want to remind everyone again, that game Saturday night, just a handful of tickets left. We really hope to see you make an effort to get out here. And if you're joining us with Chip Hale wearing a microphone from your living room on FSN Arizona, that game is at 5 o'clock. Whether you're coming or whether you're watching, again, that game a little bit after 5:10. So make, and I love that start time, by the way. Make your proper travel plans or TV plans for Saturday at 5:10.
The boys will be in black.
Ooh, Saturday Blacks against the Detroit Tigers.
Those are my favorite. I know you're a big fan of the Sonoran Sand, but I love the Saturday Blacks.
Here's Brandon Metters. 0-1 the count. 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error for the Rockies. 8 runs, they love that. 13 hits, they love that. And 4 errors, they don't, for the Diamondbacks, but they lead it. You make 4 errors and you win.
You usually lose when you make 4 errors. No question about that, Darren.
You put that game in the rearview mirror and say, but for the grace of.
No pun intended.
That's exactly right.
Well, it's nice if you're going to make errors, make sure Brandon Webb's on the mound.
2-1 the count to Chris Iannetta. Three and 1 the count from the right-hander. And that is ball 4, a base runner. Again, thank you for a great moment, 20-year-old Justin Upton. What a thrill that was to see that. And as far as those socks go, those traditional stirrups that you're wearing,
You like that, don't you?
You might want to wear them again because that was old school traditional baseball.
Yeah, that's the way it. You're going to come up and in on me or come in on me? I'm going to try to hammer one out of here and have a scowl on my face. Gas.
(8-3) the score. 0-1 the count. Jeff Baker. Runners on first and second. Again, if you're just joining us, why this game got to a point where you're not completely nervous, you're not comfortable right now. Here is that moment again. 3 pitches all in, and then this.
Well, that extra gear that I never possessed, Darren. And Brandon Metters really needs to get through this, because you hate to have Brandon Lyon come in this game if you can help it. You'd like to see Brandon Metters get through this and save Brandon Lyon for the weekend. But Brandon Lyon's now up, and he's throwing in case another fella or two gets on. But you'd love to see Brandon Metters, I'm sorry, restore order a little bit here.
That hasn't happened yet. Upton just shoots it back into the cutoff man. The bases are loaded. Nobody out.
Bob Melvin's seen enough. The bottom of the order. Walk, knock, knock. And here comes the closer.
Not over yet. More after this from Chase Field. Well, it goes Brandon, Brandon, and Brandon in this game. Not by design. 2 would have been plenty. But this right-hander has been on some kind of a roll. One of the lone really dependable relievers over the last couple of weeks. Not giving up a run since April 15th. 5 hits in his last 3 innings. But he certainly has been able to put zeros on the board with regard to that.
Well, he's going to need to be very good here again. He inherits bases loaded, nobody out.
And Scott Posednik with Spielborgs and Barmas. If you can do that and get those guys, you don't have to worry about Holiday and Helton. There is nobody out. You've got to go 1, 2, 3. First pitch to Posednik in a save situation. Strike 1.
Well, that's what he's been doing for 15 straight innings, just getting ahead of just about every hitter.
1 grand slam in the career of Scott Posednik. Fastball 96 miles an hour. 1-1 the count.
Well, that's also been the difference. Brandon Lyons had a few extra feet on that fastball the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it's certainly shown in his results.
Curveball, strike 2.
Oh, what a pitch.
Double overhanded yellowhammer is what that was.
96 miles an hour in on your hands for a ball, and then Uncle Charlie right on the outside corner, or the double-fisted yellowhammer, or whatever you called it.
1 and 2 the count. In and out of the catcher's mitt.
Well, you wonder how he made contact with that one. That ball right in on his breastbone. Just able to get a piece of it.
Despite the struggles of late for the Diamondbacks bullpen, their ERA of 3.44 is 4th best in the National League. They'll tell you we should be number 1. Bases juiced. 1-2 to Posednik. Curveball he takes. Because he couldn't have done anything with it anyway. That is the epitome, statistically, of a cool customer. The 2-2. Popped it up, and it's back into the seats. The 2-2. A little chopper, and he continues to make it tough.
Boy, he is spoiling some awfully good pitches. Chris Snyder saying, man, I don't know what to do, Brandon. What do you think? Brandon was lying probably. Yeah, I got it. No problem.
Seven pitches so far in this at bat, and the count is 2-2. Oh, top of this is going to be tough just to get a single out, and they won't.
Wow. What an at-bat that was. It was right off the plate, kangarooed and out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody can do anything about that. And here comes the top of the order.
With nobody out, one swing of the bat and a big one, this game could be tied.
That's exactly right.
You're also without a double play, guaranteeing you will face at least Matt Holliday.
Well, you're just full of good news.
My apologies. Truth hurts.
That's exactly right. Perfect pitch there.
Just got to keep doing that. I mean, Pacetic had a great at bat, but look, he pounded a pitch off the plate. Lyon made his pitch.
He absolutely did.
Bases remain loaded. Curveball, nice block. They got to know if he went around. Yes, he did.
Jimmy Joyce. That fist pump with the right hand means yes, he did. 0-2.
Brandon rolled up 7 double play ground balls last season. He has not rolled one up this year. And this year he is more of a fly ball pitcher. Quite a bit more. Wouldn't chase.
Tried to climb the ladder and get the big strikeout. Spielborg's nothing doing.
The Diamondbacks looking to sweep the Rockies. The Rockies maybe looking to build a bit of a stepping stone to turning their season around. And another big block, 2-2. 8-4 the score. Two-two. In and out of the catcher's mitt as it's fouled off. We'll do it again.
Well, we've seen a few of those just nicked off of Chris Snyder's mitt to stay alive.
Brandon Webb went 7 1/3, allowed 3 earned runs, struck out 8. He is hoping to improve to 9-0. His ERA is 2.56 exiting the game. Slayton, Qualls, Metters struggled, and now Lyon. 2-2. Oh my.
I think this ball's off the plate. I think Tim Sheeta got this call right. It's awfully close, but that's certainly off the plate there. That's outside. Sure, you want it, but by the same token, the umpire got the call right.
Right field, Justin Upton.
Giving that all day.
1 out, runners on first and third. Another run will score. It's now 8-5.
But you will give them that all day.
Shortstop, Clint Barmas.
Barmas has a lot of success in his career against line. 5 for 7 with a strikeout, with a double and a triple.
Wow.
Outside. Now it needs to be noted that, again, that run will not affect the final if that's all the runs it scored. But Scott Pasetnik with great speed at first. You might want to get him on the move.
And he's got a huge lead. Plus, you stay out of the double play if he goes.
He's leaning.
Oh, boy, was that close. But what that'll do, it'll make him think twice before going. You get picked off here, that's unforgivable.
The crowd kind of in between right now. Purgatory, if you will.
Yeah, they don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Rarely does Clint Barmas, when he puts it in play, rarely does he put it on the ground.
Surprised that play didn't work. It's the first time in years I haven't seen it work.
I was waiting.
You know, kudos to Pasetnik.
1-0 the count. I needed that little lighter moment there. Outside, 2-0.
To quote our old buddy Marty Brenneman, the Hall of Fame announcer for the Cincinnati Reds, that play hadn't worked since Abner Doubleday was a teenager. All right, 2-0. Something good needs to happen from Brandon Lyon here. He needs to make a quality pitch in the zone. He got one up in the air, but he got it past Barmas for a strike. That was up there in the danger zone, belt high.
Boy, how big are the insurance runs? 3 to be exact that the Diamondbacks put up in the bottom of the 8th, and even Justin Upton's angry triple. Lyon has thrown 18 pitches.
Well, these Rockies have sure come on late again tonight. 5 runs in the last 3 innings as of yet. That one got the corner.
Boy, is he stubborn.
Well, you have to be. To be successful in this game, Darren, you have to be a little stubborn. You thinking hook, or are you thinking fastball away again?
He's thinking fastball away. You locked me up. Runners on first and third. 2-2. Fastball. Got him.
Gas. Look at the glove of Snyder. Look where the ball goes. Right there and right by Clint Barmas. What a pitch from Brandon Lyon. The stubborn Brandon Lyon. Okay, yeah, boy, that's a big strikeout. Who do I have to face now? Matt Holliday.
And there you see the numbers, 6 for 15. He homered against them earlier this year in a game won by the Diamondbacks in Colorado.
Got it by him, 94 miles an hour on the black. Perfect pitch.
0-1 the count. This was in April. A pitch away at Coors Field. The MO for Lyon against righties is to stay away. Do you think about coming in, tying up those hands?
Not yet. That play hadn't worked since Abner Doubleday was a teenager.
Burke wasn't even behind the runner there, wasn't even on the bag. Had one more big out to get. It's the man who could have been the MVP last year, but came in second. Outside.
Just missed. As you said, he's stubborn. He has to be.
Ian Reynolds has it. Fires. Dug out and the Diamondbacks win.
He came in on him that time and jammed him and got the MVP candidate. Brandon Lyon, the cool customer.
Oh my. Beat goes the heart. We talked about coming in. Would they do it at what point? Well, they did, Gracie.
And look, the ball goes right where he wants it on the inside corner, jams him, and the rest was up to the sheriff. Across the diamond, ball game. Sweet.
Our co-players of the game in this 8-5 victory. Brandon Webb, who is now a perfect 9-0. 9-0 for Brandon Webb, and Stephen Drew, who is 4 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored.
20-5 now against the West.
20-5 against the West. 8-1 against the Colorado Rockies. 17-7 here at home. And the Diamondbacks are 11 games over 500. 9-0. Unbelievable. Most wins to start a season in 50 years for Brandon Webb. Post-game coverage starts right now.
Happy fans, head for the exits at Chase Field. We would sweep up, but the Diamondbacks already took care of that. This is Quest Diamondbacks Live on FSN Arizona. Mark McClune alongside Reggie Sanders. A lot to talk about, but first let's kick it right back down to the field. Todd Walsh standing by with a guy who had a pretty good seat for this one and also provided the big blow.
All right, thank you very much, Chris Snyder. And Chris, forgive me for not putting this in the form of a question, but you have just swept the Colorado Rockies twice, and it's still May. What does that say? I guess it is a question.
We've been playing good ball. We've been playing good ball against the West. These wins are huge. Especially, I mean, you never know what's going to happen come September, wherever. But these wins against the teams in the West are big.
Getting a run early for Brandon Webb, it seems like one run sort of feels like 3 or 4, doesn't it?
Right. When he's on, yeah, one run definitely seems like 3 or 4. And it's great. We kept adding on, and that last inning, the 8th inning, was huge.
And then you added on earlier, of course, with the big fly, the home run. You're down 0-2 with 2 runners on. What's going through your mind? What's your process there?
I don't know. Get a ball I can hit.
And you did.
Battle.
Yeah. And you did.
Yeah.
And how about Brandon Webb, the battle that he did all night long? Is there anything that he has done, Chris Snyder? He insists. Nothing's different. Is there something different that you can give us?
No, there's nothing different. He's right. There's absolutely nothing different. He's just going out there and doing what he's supposed to be doing.
How about the other Brandon Lyon? We have seen some unbelievable performances of him of late, especially some tight situations these last 2 games. What are you catching? What are you seeing from him?
Complete confidence.
Yeah.
He trusts himself. That's all you can ask for.
You looking forward to interleague play?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Enjoy the ride this weekend. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Take
Chris
care.
Snyder of the Arizona Diamondbacks, guys. Again, nothing's changed for Brandon Webb. He's just Brandon Webb. You know what? I'm starting to believe that, guys.
Thanks a lot, Todd Walsh. Good stuff right there. We got to get Chris to take off the helmet and the mask. You got to see his face a little more.
I was in the clubhouse early. He had a big old pimple right there, and I think he was trying to hide it.
Well, either that or some Oxy-10 potentially for Chris Snyder, but he, of course, provided the big blow tonight, and that was definitely our turning point. It came in the 5th inning, a 3-run bomb, 412 feet. Reggie, when you hit one like this, do you know it's gone?
Well, you're right, and it's one of those things that what I like about him is that he was able to, in I guess the first, second, third inning, they weren't able to score runs because they had some key situations where they could score the runs. But then he came up in that situation, hit a big home run, and it gave the Diamondbacks 5 runs ahead.
Well, he has the luxury. He's sitting back there watching pitches his entire night, so he knows a good one when he sees it, and he jumped on it. And that game, that really blew the game open here for the Diamondbacks.
Well, it did, and as a major league hitter, you cannot miss those balls that are right down the middle, and so he wasn't able to. He didn't foul that ball off. He capitalized on it, kept the bat through the zone, and was able to hit the ball over left field wall.
26-15 right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and 9 of those wins have come via Brandon Webb. 9-0, and as we head to break, take a look at what he did tonight to the Colorado Rockies. Had them talking to themselves. The Diamondbacks get the win. We're going to hear from Webb. Darren and Gracie going to join us to talk about Brandon Webb and break this one down. You're watching Quest Diamondbacks Live on FSN Arizona.